What's up, Tiger Gang? It's JT from the Poco Moonshine family. We are back again, thankfully, with another episode of Chatting with Carnivores. Today we got Aimee from Brisket Boomers. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk to you. And you've been carnivore for years now, haven't you?
Yep, on November 12th, it will be 5 years. So almost
Wow.
5 years.
You're running circles around me too. I'm only like 125, 226 days, something like that.
Well,
So
it's
I'm,
amazing how many carnivores there are on YouTube with, 3 weeks or 3 months. But they just know how important it is to get the message out.
it is, and I'm getting so many. There's so many new carnivore channels that are popping up every day. So it's fun to try to catch up with all of them and get them on the chatting with carnivores here, including you. Where are you
Thank you.
from, and where are you at now, location wise, Aimee?
Well, I grew up in Louisiana, in New Orleans, but my husband and I moved to Maine about 33 years ago. So I've been a Mainer for a while.
A Mainer. What's your favorite part about Maine?
That's an interesting question. I think that the people of Maine are just ready for an adventure. I think that's my favorite part. And it's a very beautiful state, too.
Is it woodsy? I've never been there. What's the state look like?
Well, there's a lot of beach and there's a lot of woods
Hmm,
and not a lot of people. I mean, there's no big towns here. There's
really?
no really big cities. No, Portland is not a very big city, and it's probably the biggest city. So there's just not, there's a lot of space. I'll tell you what there is a lot of is farms. There's, it's, Maine is one of the easiest states to eat all local food.
That's great.
And
So
you
do you shop
can
like at your
buy from
local?
farm town.
Do you shop like at your local beef farmer and stuff?
Well, I used to, but I can't really afford to anymore. But I do buy
You
my amazing butter from a farmer in New Hampshire. So New Hampshire and
do.
Maine are the two easiest states to live all on local food.
It's New Hampshire, so close to you. I guess you could just ride on over there.
You can walk right over, yeah.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I just picked
Not
up
from where
some.
I am, but from where I
Oh,
used to live, yes.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I just picked up some beef lard, and been cooking my like frying chicken in there, and it's so good. Oh,
Okay, so lard is made from pigs and tallow is made from beef. So
okay. Then I
what did
think
you
I
use?
got tallow then.
Okay, you got tallow.
Sorry about that. I see. I'm still
That's
new to
okay.
this. I'm only 120 something days, girl.
I know you can't expect to learn it all.
No, and I thought it was really a super simple diet. Like, well, how is this going to be? What's there to learn? You just eat meat, animal products, but there's actually quite a bit to learn, including I'm learning about what's behind you. I just bought a Griswold cast iron pan,
Oh wow,
a
they're
number
the
eight,
best.
big block logo.
They're the best. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
I have 10 back there.
Are those
Well,
Griswolds?
a few of them are, but not all of them. They're Wagner, Griswold, and a few without a name.
See, and
But
I
I
have
have
no
10
idea how to
altogether.
take care of it, how to clean it, how to nothing. So I'm learning from my couple of my buddies, and it's in the mail. I bought one on eBay, and it's on the
Awesome.
way, and I can't wait to get it. And I can throw the Teflon pan out the window.
Yay.
Yeah. Is that what you do? You use your cast iron a lot for your cooking?
That's all I use.
Yeah.
Unless, well, I cook. The only thing I cook in the air fryer is bacon. And
Hmm.
everything else, well, not everything. I cook a lot in the cast iron pans, but I also have a nice big roasting pan that I can put in the oven and cook a big piece of brisket or chuck roast low and slow.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up. The Brisket Boomers. How'd you come up with that name for your channel?
Um, Actually, that was my daughter. My kids, I got 3 kids, and two boys and a girl. They're all grown. They have kids of their own. I'm a grandma. Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, you're good. I'm just sharing your channel so people can
Oh,
start
okay.
subscribing. You're all good.
So they try to help me out. We were trying to think of a name for my new channel, and my kids all know that I love brisket, and I wanted a channel for older carnivores, older people who are interested in carnivore. Um, and I can tell you more about that in a minute. But it was my daughter's idea, Brisket Boomers, because I was just trying to think of a name, and I said, well, that sounds pretty good, so that's what it is. But I have a lot of friends, and I know a lot of people who are. I mean, I'm 69 years old.
You don't look like it.
Thank you. But I have a lot of older friends because we've been friends for a long time. And a lot of older people, unless they've been adventurous like I have throughout my whole entire life, I've been adventurous with diet, but a lot of people haven't. And a lot of older people have conditions that they don't trust anybody with explaining to them except their doctors.
Yeah.
So that they're afraid to cross their doctors.
Mm.
So I'll tell them about the carnivore diet, and they'll say, well, I'll ask my doctor.
Oh,
I'm like, that's not going to help them.
it's their health. You know what? It's their
And
life, you know?
right. But that's why I started the channel. And I don't know, I just started a few months ago, so we'll see. But that was the aim. I want to help older people that are afraid to do something different than what their doctor is going to tell them.
And I that's a great mission. And if you ever want to get some of those old people on here, as you call them, send them my way, and I'll interview them, and we'll slap them on the grill, and we'll pick their brains a little.
All right.
Hey, now you went from like a low carb lifestyle to keto to carnivore, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is
So you want a little history?
Yeah, absolutely. Give us your story, Aimee.
Okay. So I grew up in the 50s and 60s. That's when I was a kid. So it was just standard American diet. But I was kind of, well, my sister called me sickly. I was kind of a sickly kid. I had headaches a lot. I had stomach aches a lot. I was constipated. And that was my life growing up. And then when I was 15, I had really bad acne. So my mother took me to the doctor, and they put me on antibiotics for my acne. And it helped a little bit, but then I started getting sick. And I don't really know if the antibiotics were the whole reason. It could have just been in the cards for me, but I was pretty sick. So I went back to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with type 1 diabetes.
Mm.
Um, the symptoms of type 1 diabetes are extreme thirst and urinating very often. If you
Mm.
have those two things, you probably have type 1 diabetes. It's
Mm.
still missed today. Some
Is that like
parents
a
say
constant thing, like every day? That's how you feel, or is it like every other day? Once a
that's
week?
well, that's just the symptoms before the diagnosis, because that's the symptom of very, very high blood sugars.
Okay.
So once you're diagnosed, you're put on insulin, and basically type 1 diabetes means that your pancreas can no longer secrete insulin.
Mm.
And insulin is what allows you to digest food and keep your blood sugar at a stable rate. And a lot of people get the two kinds of diabetes confused. Type 2 diabetes, which is the one that everybody's healing on the carnivore diet, seems to be, is really a severe um, insulin. Um, what's that word I'm trying to think of?
Resistant?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're all
It's
good.
severe insulin resistance. And so it just means that your cells, because they've been taking in so many carbohydrates, that they can no longer take in insulin that's going to help deal with the carbohydrates.
Mm.
So it's pretty easy to heal with a change in diet. But type 1 diabetes is the actual, you lose it. Most people think it's an autoimmune disease, that, something about your body attacks the beta cells, which are the cells that produce the insulin, and kills them all. And so then you can't make insulin anymore. And without insulin, you're going to die.
Mm.
So I was 16 years old when I was diagnosed. And the doctors told me I was supposed to eat 6 slices of bread a day, that I had to be on this 2,000 calorie diet and have 6 bread exchanges and a little bit of meat, a little bit of vegetables. And I was like, that's going to just make me fat. I was 16. I knew very little, but I knew just enough about nutrition to know that that was a terrible diet they wanted me to be on.
Yeah.
So I figured from the age of 16 that it was up to me to figure out my nutrition, and that I would listen to the doctors, but not all that closely. And that's kind of the way I've been since then.
It's
When
good to
I
hear them
was,
out, right? But and then to make your own
yeah,
decisions.
I mean, I actually went to an endocrinologist today because you kind of have to, but that's a whole nother story. I want to start telling you more about my history. But
Absolutely. Keep going.
so when I was 22, had just graduated from college, and I just got interested in nutrition and started reading health books. And I would go to the local health food store and read every health book I could get. And they were all telling about healing on different diets. You could change to this diet or that diet or that diet, and you could heal. You could heal from cancer, and you could heal from type 2 diabetes, and you could heal all kinds of conditions. But nobody said you could heal type 1 diabetes. But somehow I got convinced that if everything's healable, so is type 1 diabetes. So that was my journey. That was why I just studied nutrition from a very young age. And so I first became a vegetarian, and I was vegetarian when my kids were little. For several years, probably 25 years, I was a vegetarian.
Wow. How did your body do on that?
It did okay because I still ate eggs and cheese. So I was a vegetarian from like 1970. So I was diagnosed in 71. I was a vegetarian from 77 to about, to 1996, when I found Dr. Bernstein and low carb. By 1996, I had been a type 1 diabetic for 25 years, and my health was starting to really suffer. I started going to medical libraries to find out what was wrong with me. I had frozen shoulders, I had frozen hips. I could move only very slowly. It would take me about a minute to get out of a chair. At the end, I couldn't even hold my head up. Like when we'd sit in a chair and watch TV, I could not hold my head up. And I went to bed about 7:30, 8 o'clock every night because I was so depressed. So I looked in medical libraries. I could not find anything about this condition. And then a friend of mine sent me an article by Dr. Richard Bernstein about his low carb approach to type 1 diabetes. And I ordered these cassette tapes, and he explained his whole plan of how to do low carb. And at the time, I had been on only 1 shot a day because that's what diabetics used to do. They took 1 shot a day of one kind of insulin. And Dr. Bernstein's plan put me on 5 shots of insulin a day, which I took 2 different kinds of insulin, one for meals and one for even if you don't eat, you have to take the insulin. So I did that for the next 7 years. But I didn't forget that I wanted to heal type 1 diabetes. So I kept researching, and I found out that there was this family, they were called the Raw family, and they used the raw vegan diet, and the son in the family had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and his mother put him on a raw vegan diet, and he never had to go on insulin.
Mm.
So that was my next venture, the raw vegan diet, for the next 7 years.
How did that go?
Well, it was an interesting experiment. I did a lot of fasting, juicing. I ate only raw foods. At the end of the 7 years, I had a business called Aimee's Living Magic, and I sold crackers and all kind of dehydrated snacks and raw chocolate.
Hmm.
At the end of that, see, my daughter was also raw vegan. My husband was raw vegan. And a lot of our friends were too. And it was kind of in at the time. It was from 2003 to 2010, and it was kind of a fad, although we really believed in it. But a lot of us started having health situations that were not good. My husband's teeth started to rot. I started to have really painful joints. And a lot of my friends were having problems with their periods stopped, or they also were not feeling well. So we all kind of realized it was because we were protein deficient or some kind of nutrients that we needed to get from meat. The first thing that some of us ate was this wonderful butter that I still get from this farmer. It's like this beautiful dark yellow butter from Jersey cows, and it's raw and it's full of nutrients, and it's amazing. But anyway, transitioned into eating meat. But at the time in 2010, at the end of the raw food, there was a gas crisis. And we kind of had this realization that we were buying salad. So we're in Maine, right? We're buying salad and avocados that have to be shipped to us from all over the world just so we can eat raw food. So we decided that we would eat only food from farmers. We would buy all our food, and if we're going to eat meat, we're going to buy it from farmers. So that's what I did for the next 8 years. So I went on a ketogenic diet, and I did a lot of research into the ketogenic diet. And at the time, it was only 2010. But while I was researching the ketogenic diet, I actually found the Zeroing In on Health Facebook group, and they were carnivores. But in 2010, I was not ready. I was just thought they were crazy. Not crazy. I didn't think they were crazy. I just thought that I didn't want to do it and that I didn't trust it. It was just, like that can't really be good for you. But I was introduced to all the big names that are still around today. Kelly Hogan.
I saw you had a video or a picture with her or something like that. You guys
Yep,
hang out?
yeah.
You guys are friends? That's cool.
Well, we got to meet at the Northeast, is that what it's called? The New Jersey meetup. So I've met her twice at the
That's
New
great.
Jersey meetup. Lisa Wiedemann was on that website. Dana Spencer was on that website. Charles Washington and Joe Anderson and his wife Charlene. They've been carnivores for like probably almost 30 years, a pretty long time. But anyway, so I saw it, but I wasn't convinced. So I went ahead and did keto for 8 years. And at the end of keto, um, my husband and I were on a trip. He was an artist, and he did workshops all across the country during the colder weather months. We would travel. So we're in the car and we're listening to keto podcast on YouTube, and what pops up is the Sean Baker interview on Joe Rogan and the Jordan Peterson interview and Michaela Peterson interview. And he listens to it and he says, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go carnivore tomorrow. So he did. And I said, well, I'm going to wait till we get home, because it was like October 20th or something. And so we had a few more, because I was afraid to do it with, if it's going to mess up my insulin, or, what's going to happen. So I waited until we got home, which was November 12th. And that's when I started being carnivore. It was 2018. I forgot to mention the year, but that's how it all started.
Wow, 2018 you started. You're one of the trailblazers.
Well, I mean, I'm nothing compared to a Kelly Hogan or those guys, but I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, Rick, the 40-year carnivore, he's been doing it since 1983.
Yeah, yeah.
He was trying to have a heart attack. He still hasn't succeeded yet.
I've heard him like one of the first interviews that he did, because he didn't even know it was a thing. He didn't, these old, like Maggie, the rancher. She was just eating meat because that's what she wanted to eat, and had no idea that it was going to be a big deal like it
Yeah.
is now. And it's a really big deal now.
Yeah, it's growing.
Look, can you read this?
They're over a little bit. Carnivore certified, or what does it say? Wanted. Carnivore's wanted.
That is from Longhorn Steakhouse. They have
Oh,
business cards with carnivores wanted.
wow, that's cool. Now that's a place to eat right there.
Yeah.
So how is the type
So every
1?
time I go, which is not very often, my family, that's where to go. What?
Sounds like a good place to eat. How is the type 1 diabetes now?
Well, I am on less insulin. It's under very good control. My A1C, I don't know if you know anything about that, but today I got the results from my test. It's 5.5. I would actually like it to be lower, but that's what it is right now.
Is that good or bad?
And
I have no idea.
well, that's an interesting question, because for a regular person, a 5.5 is approaching type 2 diabetes. It's an interesting question, because the endocrinology office wanted me to be between 7 and 7.5, but that would be very high blood sugars, and they are wrong. My goal would be to the 4.7 to maybe 5.3. So I'd like to get it a little lower.
Interesting.
But that's the issue with medicine. Sometimes they just don't see what's right in front of them. They're
Or they're
trying to
not
say,
looking at it.
I don't have to have good blood sugars because I'm a type 1 diabetic. And I said, type 1 diabetics deserve to have good blood sugars, because if you don't have good blood sugars, you can do damage to your body.
Absolutely.
But they said, oh yeah, but that's too low. And I'm like, oh, it was very frustrating. That was my day today.
Yeah, you almost wonder if they have an agenda, or they're just not well informed on it enough. Maybe that they're not being malicious, they're just not well informed.
I don't think they're being malicious, but I do think they're just not trying. And that's what frustrates me about the medical system, is it's like everybody just doesn't want to, they just don't, it's not that they don't care. I know they care, and they're all really good people. But I go to an office, and 95% of the office workers are 50 to 100 pounds overweight,
Mm.
and they're probably following the food pyramid. They're following what the doctors advise them to follow. The woman today, the nurse practitioner I went to, she asked me if I wanted to see the dietitian. And I said, well, I don't know why I would go because I'm not going to stop being a carnivore.
Hey, good for you though. Like,
Oh, I can't keep quiet. It's terrible. I refuse to keep quiet. I argued with her for quite some time about the yeah.
we need soldiers like you out there. You are brave. You just seem like you swing the sword right at him. Like, shut up.
Well, I don't believe in lying. So
Yeah,
I'm just truthful, I just want to be truthful. And I think that if there's more people that are brave enough to talk to their doctors, that maybe doctors will start. I mean, we know some of them have started looking around because we've got great carnivore doctors, the Dr. Chafee and Dr. Baker and Dr. Berry, and we've got, even more, lots and lots, but they're hard to find on an individual basis when you're looking to go to a doctor.
yeah. Locally, it's tough to find. I'm trying to get Dr. Chafee in the carnivore calendar with this shirt off for the ladies. Well, so keep your fingers crossed. I said it shouldn't be that bad for him. Half his photos on Google, he's got no shirt on, so this
Oh,
should be
I
right up
think
his
that
alley.
I think he'd be they all would probably they'd all be willing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was talking to Kerry about it. He's like, soon as we get that photo from Chafee, he says that's going on the cover. I said, all right. Oh, it's fun. So what do you eat in a week? I know you're using the cast iron skillets. What are you putting in there, Aimee?
Uh, Smash burgers.
Oh,
So breakfast. So I eat 3 meals a day. Most carnivores don't, but I really like eating 3 meals a day. My husband died in 2021, and I'm living by myself. And I'm like, I like these 3 meals. It gives me some structure to my day, and it makes it easier to manage with the type 1 diabetes and the insulin injection. So that's what I'm doing now. I probably should fast some, but I'm just not into it right now. So
would
breakfast
that mess up
is
your insulin levels if you fasted?
it would be tricky, but it should be possible. Like, you take a background insulin called basal, and that's for the whole day, even if you don't eat. So
Mm.
theoretically, I should be able to take that insulin and just not eat.
And then, okay, I got you.
Right. Right.
That's cool. See, I'm learning all sorts of stuff here.
Well,
Difference between tallow
but
and lard, all sorts of stuff.
if you don't get the insulin exactly right, you can either have high blood sugars, which are bad for your health, or very low blood sugars, which you can actually pass out from. So you have to bring the low blood sugars back up. So it's really tricky to keep your blood sugars even at all times. So eggs and bacon for the breakfast, brisket or chuck roast, something like that for lunch, which when it's left over, I heat it up in a cast iron skillet with plenty of pan drippings to
Mm.
crust it up. And then either a burger scramble for supper, like burger in the pan, and then you add eggs and scramble it up, or just a smash burger and bacon, which is what I had for tonight.
Oh, have you ever tried beef bacon, Aimee?
I have. Uh, back in, what year was that? 2020. I did the lion diet for 3 months. And so, no bacon on the lion diet. So, the lion diet, for anybody who doesn't know, because I know but it's just beef and lamb and other ruminant animals and nothing else
That's what
besides
always broke my lion
salt
diet was
water.
bacon.
Yeah, it's hard. So I did it for 3 months, and my blood sugars were amazing, and I was able to lower my insulin to almost nothing.
Wow.
Well, 6 units. It was cut in half.
Wow.
because I'm on about 12 units of insulin now, which is not very much considering some people take hundreds. Um, anyway, oh, I had beef bacon then, but I missed bacon and eggs so much that I just couldn't stay on it. And
Yeah, that's what breaks
it
me.
felt like, I mean, I was doing it to see if I could heal completely and get off of insulin. And after 3 months, I was not off of insulin. So I thought, well, I'm just going back to beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. So that's what I did. And I did it also in September of this year, but I never could find any beef bacon this year.
Mm. Yeah, I've been trying to get more people to try it because if the pork doesn't sit well in their stomach or something, I'm like, hey, try beef bacon.
Oh,
It's
it's good stuff. You know, they even make lamb bacon.
ooh,
I haven't
I've
ever
never had
found,
any lamb, Amy.
I haven't found any, but I've heard that they have it on certain websites.
What's the most like exotic meat you think you've tried?
Well, I'm from Louisiana. I've eaten alligator.
Ooh, how's alligator? What's that taste like?
I don't remember. I was so young. I have no idea.
Was it like the
Maybe
tail or the legs or?
um, I think it was the legs. I've had frog legs. I've
Yeah,
had this is not exotic, but crawfish.
yeah,
Crawfish. When you live in Louisiana and it's crawfish season, you eat crawfish.
yeah. I don't eat much seafood. For me, the smell kind of repulses me a little bit.
I don't either.
No.
I don't like the smell of fish. I really don't like fish. So, but crawfish isn't like a fish.
It's
I
different.
mean, it's well, it's more like lobster. Have you ever had lobster?
I've tried it once, but that was
I,
years and years ago.
well, it's much better than lobster,
Hmm,
but in Louisiana they know how to cook it with all kind of Cajun seasoning, so it's delicious.
hmm.
But
Do you do any seasonings on your carnivore diet?
most of the time it's just salt. I have been known to use slap your mama, but I've
I've
just
heard of
ran
that
out and
stuff.
I'm probably not going to buy it again. It kind of causes me a little bit of, well, it's not just stress that it causes me, but it makes me fart.
Ah, I got you.
So any kind of season, even if I eat black pepper, the next day I will fart. So I know that
You're not the only
if I
one.
can stay on
Some
just salt,
carnivores
that's
say they don't
probably
fart. I
better.
fart all the time, Amy.
It depends. I mean, I don't ever, unless I have black pepper or some kind of seasoning. They definitely make
Hmm,
me fart. So,
interesting. Yeah, I don't know why.
yeah.
I fart all the time. So when I hear people say they fart less on carnivore, I'm like, I haven't experienced that. I'm just blowing gas
So,
whenever
do
I get
you
a chance.
use seasoning?
Just on tacos, like when I'm doing like a taco bowl, which I'll just put the ground beef and this like some cut up some New York strip into a bowl.
Yeah.
But I
And you
like the
see, well, you're probably farting because of the seasoning in your taco bowl.
that could be See, it doesn't like upset my stomach or anything.
No,
And
it won't.
I've
It doesn't upset my stomach either. That's why we want to keep doing it because it doesn't hurt.
right. Yeah, and I haven't like had I've lost maybe like 2 pounds like the last month. So I don't think it's stalling me, but I'm still like feeling good. I'm still burning fat. So like if once in a while some taco seasoning, hey, it's on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh yeah.
perfect. So what do you do? What do you do for exercise, Amy?
Well, I walk about 5 to 8 miles every day.
You're kidding me. Wow.
No, I'm not
You
kidding.
make me like feel like a slug now because I definitely don't walk that much. Holy moly. I'm like stuck
I
to the
walk a
rock
lot.
here.
I walk a lot. And I also do like a few body weight exercises. I have like a routine that I made up. I do push ups and V ups,
Wow.
squats, and lunges. every day.
Wow.
And in November, so Dr. Kilt started this November 100. So you got to do 100 of one kind of exercise. So I'm going to do 100 of my push-ups, V-ups, squats, and lunges. And so if you do 25 before each meal and before bed, that's 100. So
Wow.
that's my goal, but I'm not starting until November. I just have been doing 25 of all of those
You're a
recently.
beast. You're a beast. Wow. Like we got to get you on Christie's. Have you been on the Lioness podcast?
No,
We
no,
got a
I don't know, Christy.
Christy from Meeting Wellness. We got a Christy. Aimee should really get on there. Do you mind if we take a couple comments and see what people are saying?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Carnivore Backwoods. John, hello, my friend. Hello, how you doing, buddy? Limitless Lindy. Aimee, I've been looking forward to hearing more about your story. XX. I think that's hug hug.
Yes.
I'm still learning, you know what I'm saying? Karen Harrington. Hello, JT. Hello, Tiger Gang. What's up, Karen? Glad to see you guys. Let's see. Hi, my beautiful friend. Yes, yes, I'm a city boy. She had to I'm still wet behind the ears, as they say, so she had to dry me off a little bit on the difference between lard and tallow, you guys. So that was a humbling experience to start the interview like that.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. I like to learn, and my coach said to never feel ashamed that you don't know something. Ask somebody, and then you gain a new level of awareness. But how can you if you're afraid to say you don't know? So never be afraid to learn, folks, even if it's live. Right? Let's see here. Oh, I had no idea what the difference between lard and tallow. Good to know. Yeah, Lindy, I didn't know either. Me and Lindy are gonna go see Barbie 2 when it comes out.
Oh, wow.
She lost 400 pounds in 4 months, Aimee.
I know Lindy. I've
Oh,
been
you do?
following
Okay.
her. Oh yeah, I've subscribed to her channel. I've been listening to her with Steak and Butter Gang, and yep,
Gang, gang.
I've been paying attention.
Yeah, you have been. You have been. Yeah, Lindy, she is such a great spirit. She's a great soul, and she's just inspiring so many people. Even just that name is so cool. Limitless Lindy. No limits,
Yeah.
Limitless Lindy. I bought a cast iron a while ago, washed it, and it rusted, so I threw it out. I just air fry now. LOL. Oh, Lindy, that
Oh
poor
man,
cast iron.
I'll have to do a class about taking care of cast iron.
Yeah, could you? I would watch it, Aimee.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever had one rust out like that?
Well, if they're old and sitting around, they will rust. But if you clean them up really well and scrub them, and then you have to season them, so you put some kind of fat all over them and you put them in the oven for a couple of hours. But you have to wash them with this thing.
Oh, what is that? Is that like?
It's called chainmail.
Oh, I'm gonna write this down. Chainmail
Yep, chainmail. I get it on Amazon.
on Amazon. Okay.
Yep. So you never use soap in your cast iron skillet ever.
Uh-oh, Carrie. When I was over there, he used soap and water. He got yelled at. I filmed him when I was there. He had so many people in the comments. They were like, "Carrie, what are you doing? How dare you treat your cast iron skillet like that?" I'm like, "Calm down. He's trying his best, folks."
Never use soap, just hot water and this little scrubby thing.
Okay, I know what to
It
get
works.
Carrie for Christmas.
There you go.
Shout out Carrie if you.
I got them for my kids for Christmas last year.
Oh, did you? Wow, we got some
And they
good
love
kids.
them.
Carrie, if you're watching this, turn it off. I don't want you to know what I'm getting you for Christmas, Carrie. Yeah, let's see here. I learn you can fix it and it needs to be seasoned or something, but it's gone now. Oh yeah. Well,
Oh no.
I just ordered mine on eBay. I got a Griswold #8 big block logo. My buddy Brett, Hoosier Carnivore, he got me into that. I saw him cooking out. I was like, dude, I need to get rid of these cast iron, like these Teflon non-stick
Oh yeah.
junk. you know. Ugh.
That's right.
It all comes off in your food. Semi-retired Bob, he's my dude. He sent me a bunch of great advice for the channel here, and I'm definitely using his advice. So thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, bud. You're a great guy. And Bob, remember to smile more. You have a great smile, my dude. You really do. Karen. Oh, if you guys have a question for Aimee, could you please put a Q in front of it? That really helps me see the questions. I do not own a cast iron pan. Been thinking about getting one. Have you had used cast iron your whole life, Aimee?
Yeah, I grew up on them. I inherited a few from my mom, and then I just started collecting them. And anytime I go to a yard sale or a thrift store or an antique store, if it's a good price, I'll buy it. And it's like I've told my kids, this is your inheritance.
All right,
And
what
I've
about you brought them up now and they seem like they kind of know about the carnivore diet. You know, they bought you something cool for Christmas. Are they on carnivore? What's up with that?
no, they are not.
No?
Um, they eat pretty good. But no, they're no carnivores.
Hmm. That's okay.
But they tolerate me. They don't, nobody questions me
Well,
about.
we only get one mother out here. We only get one of them. And
That's right. And
I think they smell what the rock is cooking. They're like, "Okay, mom's doing
yeah,
this. We're going to let her do it."
yeah, yeah. They
Here's a
take care of me.
question for you.
They're very good. Okay.
Limitless Lindy question. My daughter has type 1 diabetes, doing low carb now, and her levels are easier to manage. Can you share the benefits you experienced moving from, say, keto to carnivore? Thanks, Aimee. XX.
I
Hug, hug.
I remember hearing Lindy talk about her daughter with type 1 diabetes. Um, I don't know if it's really better. I think that we even have a carnivore, a type 1 diabetes, let's see, type 1 diabetic carnivores Facebook group. There's like 1,000 of us on this Facebook group. So there's a lot of people. I think it's just generally type 1 diabetics need to stay as healthy as they possibly can. So I think carnivore diet is just the right diet to be on for everybody, but especially type 1 diabetics, because they've
Mm,
got so many things that could go wrong with their, losing your eyesight or losing a foot. If you have chronic high blood sugars, you're going to lose your foot. Um, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong. We have heart
mm.
attacks. Type 1 diabetics have the worst heart attacks. So anyway, it's just important to be as healthy as you can be as a carnivore. I mean, as a type 1 diabetic. So carnivore is good. I think that I can take a little bit less insulin than I was when I was keto. Um,
Do you get any spikes in your blood sugar versus keto versus carnivore? Is one more level than the other?
I have not really found that. Before I became carnivore, I was eating less than 20 grams of carbs a day. So I wasn't eating much. And towards the end, I was on basically meat and fermented vegetables. Um, and I did find that it was easier to control my blood sugars on keto than it was on carnivore. And the
Mm,
reason is it's like the meat kind of comes up and it 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 sneaks up on you because it takes so long to digest like a big steak
mm-hmm.
that you won't need any insulin. Usually we're taking insulin before a meal. On carnivore, I almost always take my insulin after my meal, and I'm on, if I eat a steak or even brisket, because of all the fat, it takes even longer to digest. So I might need to take 2 shots for that meal. I'll take 1 shot of a unit of insulin right after the meal and then wait 2 hours later and take another shot.
Mm,
So it's trickier, but you learn how to make it much better. It's just that it doesn't, there's a learning curve.
mm.
That's what I'll say. There's a learning curve to it.
That's great. I had Dr. Tony Hampton on, and he's very big into diabetes, and I learned from it. I guess type 1 isn't reversible and type 2 is reversible, at least from
Right.
what he understands.
Yeah, and
I think that's a shame. I
and
wish everything was
well,
reversible.
his wife, Tony Hampton's wife, is type 1 diabetic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I I haven't made up my mind about that. It's you're right, it's not reversible, but some people who have been newly diagnosed and they find out about the carnivore diet right away, they might be able to save enough beta cells to where they don't have to take insulin.
Mm,
I know a few people that are on the type 1 carnivore Facebook group, and they are still working with just diet. But they were also diagnosed as adults, not children, which seems to make a difference. And um, I know of only one, well, I know a few people who went to Paleo Medicina in Hungary. Do you know this place?
no, no.
So that's a healing center in Hungary, and they teach the carnivore diet, very high fat with a lot of organ meats, and
Mm,
they heal things like cancer. And they have a few studies about, or case studies about type 1 diabetes, and they were really working on that for a while. In most cases like that, or it's people who've had type 1 for maybe a year and they've only been on insulin for a little while, and they might have enough beta cells that are still alive so that they can still produce enough insulin with with zero carbs, that it will work for them. I only know of one woman. I don't know whether anybody could get an interview with her, but her name is Rachel Chalmers, and she was on the. I became a Facebook friend of hers. She's from New Zealand, and there's a NZ carnivores group that you can actually read her story on. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, but at the same time she had a lot of other autoimmune diseases. Eating the carnivore diet, eating only fatty red meat. And in 5 months, she got off of her insulin. And she had been taking insulin for 13 years. It's kind of unheard of. And the only reason I think that it was possible for her at all is because it was still a very active autoimmune disease. Usually, by the time your beta cells have been killed, it's kind of done. They're all dead, and that's it. So I think, rather than saying you cannot reverse type 1 diabetes, I think that people need to see the type 1 diabetic as an individual. Maybe, and know that the possibility is there. That's my
Interesting.
opinion.
Interesting.
The possibility
I
is
love that.
there. I don't want to say anything is impossible. So
Absolutely. I like that attitude. And you're putting in that research, and you're like, well, maybe if you nip it in the buds quick enough, switch your diet, you might be able to um do some damage back to the type 1 diabetes. Now, quick question. What was that hereditary, or was it your diet that caused it at such a young age? How do you think you got type 1 at 16?
I do not know. I've looked back and tried to figure it out. Like I said, so we had really good insurance when I was growing up. My dad worked for a big company. He had really great insurance. So if I was sick, I was taking a drug. If I needed an operation, we got an operation. I was constantly taking medicine. And then when I got acne, I took antibiotics for a solid year. And I think the antibiotics may have just killed the microbes in my gut and set me up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was an autoimmune disease or something just killed the beta cells.
Hmm.
And I mean, sometimes people know, some people get the flu or a type of sickness that's like a flu, and then they have type 1 diabetes.
Mm,
Um, some people have antibodies and they have relatives with type 1, and then they might get it. I don't have any antibodies. I've been tested, and so I don't really know what that means. I think that it can be from the environment that you live in, like some kind of pesticide or something, some kind of problem with the water, who knows?
yeah,
But,
absolutely.
some kind of environmental toxin or some kind of an internal toxin like the antibiotics were for me, or an illness or hereditary.
Mm.
And I've looked back, I don't know exactly why. It's only a theory.
Probably drives you nuts just thinking about it.
I try not to think about it anymore. I thought that if I figured out why I got it, that I would be able to heal it. And after many years of being frustrated about that, I decided that that really didn't matter. So I don't look at it that way anymore. I just want to be the healthiest that I possibly can be. And just, if I have to take shots for the rest of my life, I'm going to be really healthy doing it.
Good for you. I love that mindset, that attitude you got, Aimee. Don't ever lose it.
Okay.
Limitless Lindy says, I love it, Aimee. Never keep quiet. You got this. I think she was talking about your doctors earlier that you got in arguments with. Yeah, I think Amy's she's gonna be swinging. She's just not that she's looking for fights, but she's speaking her truth, and she's not gonna back down from who she is and what she believes, and I really respect that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Meeting Wellness Carrie. You seem like a lioness to me, Aimee. We have a weekly live stream on Tuesdays called Lioness Lifestyle Live. If you'd like, I can email you an invite.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and if you want me to exchange your info, because I have Christy's text number, so I can text her whatever info you
So,
want me to give her
so
after this.
is Christy on Instagram?
Let me know, Christy. Are you on Instagram? Otherwise, I can give you her email.
I know I'm terrible at reading emails.
Okay. Yeah, let's see.
I may not read it.
Christy, let us know if you're on Instagram, okay? And we'll
I
go
can
through it.
give you my email, and I'll try to look for it, but I'm really not good at reading emails. I have like 5,000 emails unread.
Oh, wow. You're popular. My grandma had a bunch too, and she always had me come over to clean out her emails because she was getting emails from like QVC, Coldwater Creek, HSN, like all these.
Well, you want to see the website, so they make you give them the email address. Yeah, I'm that grandma too.
I love you even more. Oh, I love it. There's nothing
Well,
wrong with it. You like to shop. That's okay.
oh, I don't shop. I just want to see it. I'm
Yeah,
just looking. I don't have the money to shop, but I want to look at it.
there's
And
nothing
so
wrong with
they want
looking.
your email address. It's terrible.
That is terrible.
I am the mama though.
The what?
Mama.
What is that?
That's my grandma name is Mama.
Mom, mom?
Mama.
Ah,
Maw.
oh,
Mama.
mama. Okay, I never
That's
heard. I like that.
Louisiana. That's Louisiana.
Did your grandkids give you that nickname?
Well, it was my husband's mother's grandma name, and that was the grandma that my kids grew up with. And so I had no choice. They said that I had to be Mama.
Mama. Well, I
Yeah.
like it. Hey, here we go. The 40-year carnivore is watching your interview. Rick, finally back
Woo!
from work here. What's up, Rick? Now I gotta see what Christy said. Christy, are you on um Christy, are you on Instagram? Let us know, please, Christy. Let me see here. No Insanity. Renee, how you doing, Renee? Hey, Christy, just opened up your meatloaf vid when I saw JT was on. Okay. Let's see here. I know Aimee from Dr. Kiltz's Mighty Tribe. Primal
Who's
Mike
that?
says. Primal
Oh,
Mike.
Mike. Oh, yeah.
Oh, here Renee says Louisiana moi moi here too. Man, I'm learning all sorts of stuff today, man. I didn't know I was
So
so
who
wet
said
behind the
that?
ears.
Who said that?
No insanity, Renee.
Oh, I don't know her.
Yeah, she says Louisiana moi moi here too. I like that. Would you last question here, or well, last two, one of the last two. Would you take $1 million to go off the carnivore diet?
No, I hate to say it, but I probably wouldn't know what to do with $1 million.
Yeah, you get a bunch, you'd finish your collection on those Griswolds.
Oh, uh, no, but you know what? And you can't. That's kind of an impossible situation. You can't unlearn something you already know, right?
It's awareness. Once you gain a new level of awareness, there's no unseeing something, you're unlearning something like that when that gives you awareness.
Right.
I like
And I've
that.
been looking for this my entire life.
Well, I'm
I've
glad
been
you
looking
found
for
it.
this for 50 years. So,
And it's a blessing. I really do feel like the carnivore diet is an answered prayer for a lot of people. There's a lot of people praying day after day, and they don't know that this diet, this way of eating is here. Yeah, and it's so simple. Like meat's been here before we were even alive, meat, eggs, and all that. And I didn't even know that that was the answer. And then once I knew, I was like, you're kidding me. It's that simple. It was right in front of my
yeah,
face the whole time. But if you're not looking for something, even if it's right in front of your face, you won't find it. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm I'm
Well,
blessed. I'm blessed.
that is what it is, because all these people that I know, if they're not interested in it themselves and they want to find out, they're not going to listen to me. They've got to be on their own journey.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, they're not gonna really check into something like this unless they've really hit rock bottom.
Yeah, yeah,
When you're at rock bottom. There is no farther to go down, and then there's only up from here. So you're like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of. That's how I was. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
said, you know what? I got to find something. And luckily, Carrie was open. Everybody says, oh, he talks a lot. He's got a big mouth. Well, God bless that big mouth. And
Exactly.
because he spoke his truth, and then it got me on it, and now look at, I'm sharing stories with you guys. So God bless Carrie. He really is he's an angel. He really is. um Last question,
Oh,
what's on your heart? What would you like to talk to the people about while you got them here watching you?
oh my goodness. You put me on the spot.
That's okay, whatever's on your heart.
I, I don't know. I don't know. Just do the best you can. Keep an open mind. Do the best you can. And I don't know. That's about it.
I like that because I feel like if you got a closed mind, you're in for a lot of troubles in life. You got to be open to new information, new solutions, meeting new people like Aimee. Like if I had a closed mind, I would not be here right now. So, um, you didn't say much, but you spoke a lot of truth in those few words. So I like it. That's very powerful. Um,
Thank you.
did you have fun? This hour flew by.
I think I've had a smile on my face the whole time.
That's good. I'm glad. Would you come back sometime and do an update,
I,
video with
I
us?
would love to. I would love to.
Awesome, awesome. You
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
I had a blast here. She taught me stuff the whole time here. I'm learning all sorts of stuff. I now know the difference between tallow and lard. So thank you, Aimee.
Yay.
You dried off my ears there, and I appreciate that. And if you guys don't know, tallow is from a cow, right? And lard is from a pig,
Yep.
right? So I got that right. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's just see here. I want to see if Christy has no one's saying Renee. Christy, JT asked if you had Instagram. Yeah, Christy, let us know if you have Instagram, and then I can hook you two up, and then she can get on the lioness because she is a lioness. I'm telling you, I
That
wouldn't
would
want
be
to be your
awesome. I
doctor.
mean, I can give you my email too and just try to watch out for it. But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't want to get on your bad side, Aimee. That's for sure. So, but I will hook you guys up. Whatever she's got, I will hook you guys up. I had a blast. I enjoy doing these interviews. I enjoy just, everybody comes in different shapes, colors, and sizes, and we're all going through different things, but we're all going through these different things together. Like I feel like God has
Right.
blessed us, um, just with just being in this together. Being able to talk with you and share this with others and connect with others. Like we're sometimes we might feel alone, but there are so many people out there we can connect with and just to fill our hearts up with. And I try to stay focused on that, and it really keeps me motivated to keep sharing these stories. And Carrie shared his story, and it changed my life. It got me healthy. So I am on a mission to share as many stories as I can to help um, other people get healthy as well. And I appreciate you coming on Chatting with Carnivores. I want to say this partly is to help you guys get your journey, what you've got on your chest, off your chest. Speak your truth, tell your story, relate to somebody. But then we're also raising up awareness for the Carnivore Diet movie. And all the links will be in there as soon as I get off here. All the links for the t-shirts, the GoFundMe, everything. If you guys could support that, that's half of the reason I'm doing this. Oh, here we go. She said yes, she does have Instagram, so I will link you two up.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Okay, great.
Cool, cool. Well, you guys, that is the end of this one. She said she had fun. We didn't scare her off. She will be back. And I got another person I can get some tips from when I get my Griswold pan in the mail. So I am super excited about that. The more, the merrier. But you guys, that's it for this one. Thank you and goodbye. Aimee, I'll talk to you in a minute after I log us out here, okay?
All right.
Rick, I'll do my duck face for you on the way out, buddy.